Hey, Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6's China. Now, the plan is to discover more about this island down here and potentially try our hand at getting a few settlements on it. With regards to the original plan, which was to try to get a settlement over here, I am going to get a free builder out of this little adventure. However, I don't know if I'm going to be able to settle this. I'm kind of torn between hanging around with my settler until the next era to see if these guys go into Dark Ages, which I almost certainly will be doing, but that's like 26 turns. On the other hand, I could just turn the settler around and start sending him over to this island and kind of forget about this little peninsula. And as much as I would love to settle this little peninsula, I think I'm going to do a runner. I think I'm just going to abandon this. It was a mistake. The loyalty deceived me. The loyalty here is just way too harsh to deal with. I would need like some resources that I could chop out population, and I would need like a turbo. I would maybe actually, what I would need realistically is I would need a cultural alliance with either Rome or Canada. So actually what we're going to try to do is I'm going to try to make better friends with Canada. I'll send him a gift, all right? I'll send him a gift of, I'd say, about 150 gold should max out our relations. That's 150 gold should max out our relation boost from friendship. If we look here, favorable trade deals to them. So that should boost us up to neutral relation the next couple of turns. So I think I'll hang around, and if I can get a cultural alliance with Canada, I might be able to get like 2 cities in here, and that would be really, really nice. I'll of course purchase the settler with faith, but for now, looks like Canada did the job of clearing this out of barbs. We finished the harbor in Shanghai, and this era of the World Congress is starting to come to a close. So now is about when I want to start thinking about doing amphitheaters and working amphitheater theater square festivals to get all my great works of writing nice and early. Now, the thing is though, the lighthouse is extremely valuable and it leads to the shipyard. So that's kind of a hard thing to pass up. And it's only 7 turns of production to actually get the lighthouse. It gives me a ton of housing. It gives me extra food on these coastal tiles, and it leads to the shipyard. So it's just a really, really high value building right now for me. Over here in Longxi, I'm going to be waiting for Magnus to be established before I start doing all the chopping nonsense that I plan. We have unlocked diplomatic service, which gives us access to the new Machiavellianism card. I could also plug in Vissel Banking. I'm not going to plug in Vissel Banking until I have an alliance with a few more people, but I'm definitely going to plug in Machiavellianism so I can start my spy soon. And actually, it looks like Canada has become neutral with me, so I could establish a resident embassy and get a friendship with them, and then get a cultural alliance. They'll pay me for this cultural alliance. Beautiful. And by getting that cultural alliance, the loyalty over here is not quite as bad. And if I can get a city established somewhere on this island, settling a second city will be so much easier because I'll have the loyalty pressure from this original settlement actually contributing to the loyalty pressure of the next city. I think I could comfortably fit 3 cities in here if I wanted to, but I might just plop down 2. We'll have a look. I might settle like here, then here, and then on the diamonds, that kind of a configuration. We'll see how things shake out though. Now that we do have diplomatic service, we are eventually going to want to grab Reformed Church just for a little while to make faith purchases a little cheaper. Maybe towards the end of this era when we're going to get a couple of last settlers, or maybe when I get a settler over to this island, we'll switch to Reformed Church. So I'm not going to unlock it just yet. I'm going to start making my way towards conservation. And the reason I'm making my way towards conservation is because not only does this give me a ton of envoys, it allows me to start building national parks. It allows me to plant woods, which will work really well with the colossal heads, and it also lets me get tourism from walls. So from about mercantilism up towards conservation is when I want to start thinking about building walls, in particular because the limes card goes obsolete at ideology. You can kind of see down here, it goes obsolete here. I want to get more production in my capital, and I also want more housing. I'm trying to think about how do I get more housing in here, and probably the best way would be if I had picked a different government plaza, but that's not something I can change right now. I just need a little bit of housing in here. The aqueduct would do the job, but I want to try to build the thingy. Maybe another farm or 2. I don't think I'm going to be able to reasonably increase the population of this city. And I think that tells me that I need to de-emphasize working food. So I'm going to unlock these wheat tiles because I have just a stupidly high food surplus in here, and that's getting multiplied by a very big number. I mean, I guess technically if I wanted to, I could relock these tiles, right? And the city would grow in 41 turns, but like realistically, that's not worth my time when I could be working more productive tiles. I could also sacrifice working a couple of these tiles to work specialists, but I don't think that's worth it right now. And it might also be worth it to evangelize my religion at some point, maybe in the next era when we don't need faith to be able to get our settlers. But an extra mine in here will speed things up. I'm trying to think about what the best way to get more production and population in here. I don't really have a whole lot of options at this point in the game. Let's also work on our friendships with America and Harald Hardrada so that we can improve our relations with them. I might be able to get friendships with them this turn. No, Norway won't be a friend just yet, so I'm going to send him 150 gold. I'll send him 120. That might be enough to improve. Yeah, there you go. Favorable trade deal. So he might go a little bit more friendly next turn. With America, I would like to get a religious alliance, I think. Doesn't matter what the alliance is, just I want to have positive relations with as many players as possible. The Maori really dislike me, so what I'm hoping to do is to also give them a gift of 120 or so gold to boost their friendship and maybe see if I can get a resident embassy with them. If I can get that embassy with them, they'll be much more favorable to friendship later. We completed the harbor in Changsha. I really want to get a lot of infrastructure in here, and that's going to require me to get the shipyard first. So I'm going to be working on a lighthouse in here. And then I'll try to purchase the shipyard. I need a lot of... I know I just spent a lot of my gold, but I really do need those friendships if things are going to work out for me long term. This goddamn caravel just running around, causing trouble, pillaging my stuff. I'll have to get a builder over here to repair the crabs. I'm going to actually swing this guy down. Oh my goodness, there's even more barbarian battleships and stuff like that over here. Lots of quadriremes. Thankfully, I'm escorting the settler to the promised island over here. They must be spawning from somewhere nearby. Special session of the World Congress. Wilfrid Laurier was actually hit by a natural disaster. I'm going to vote that up because then the AI will funnel their gold towards Wilfrid Laurier, and then I can siphon that off of Wilfrid by selling him my diplomatic favor. Speaking of which, hey Wilfrid, I heard you like diplomatic favor. Now he usually pays a really good price. He's giving me 27 for 50, which is kind of a weak price. I'm going to go through and check what everyone else is offering. The Maori actually offer 28 for 50, so that's actually slightly better than Wilfrid. Ooh, America doesn't seem to have much gold, so they're not offering a whole lot. Norway does want a friendship though, which is kind of nice, because I was only looking at Norway to really check the price of diplomatic favor. Yeah, 28 seems to be about the best that I can get, unless Rome offers better. Yeah, I think 28's what we're going to get. Probably a good idea to bankrupt America because they tend to be the biggest pain in the ass when it comes to diplomatic or cultural victories because they have that unique cultural building. So let's kind of take him down to size, and that should cripple his economy. Oh, okay, so we've got a ton of quadriremes here that we need to deal with. Let's kill the healthiest one because that'll do the most damage to us by hitting us, and it's an easy kill. And then we'll probably promote this after it takes another couple of shots. Also need to get rid of this bad boy. That'll get me a promotion, and I'll be able to swing over here and help out. Now, tech-wise, I've got a lot of things that I really want to get. Okay, so first of all, I'm building the Oxford University. Now, the Oxford University gives you 2 randomly chosen free technologies when completed, and that's randomly chosen from the techs that are available. So I kind of want to clean up any older technology that I have to maximize the amount I get from finishing the Oxford University. So, for example, if I get machinery for free, I get 300 science. But if I get square rigging for free, I get 730 science. So what I really, really want to do is come back through here and just clean up some of these older technologies. And that lines up really well because I also want to pick up the Forbidden City and get the extra tourism yields from Great Works at printing. So I'll probably just spend a bit here just cleaning up some of this older technology, even though I really, really want square rigging, industrialization, and steam power so I can get towards building my seaports and stuff like that, and then eventually picking up computers for the tourism boost. Just going to spend a little bit more time down here in the bottom half of the tech tree to get a few more tech options. Right here is a far from ideal city location in my opinion, but I think it is good enough. It is good enough to make settling over here worthwhile. Speaking of Norway, I did get a friendship with them, but I'm going to go ahead and get the military alliance. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get the research alliance with them, because then if I trade with them, I'll get a ton of extra science, and that'll make up for the fact that my science isn't super strong right now. Oh, okay, Canada is complimenting me. Thank you very much, Canada. Oh my god, there's like a religious battle going on here too. Brilliant. We are taking on the Barbs over here, and I have another caravel coming in to support. I'll take Helmsman on him so he can get closer quicker. The big problem I have is in the city of Chen, there is near zero production. I think I'm going to steal a hill from my capital so that this city can actually build some of its infrastructure a little bit quicker because it's in bad shape. Xiaodong has the ability to purchase a shipyard. That would be almost a 50% increase in its production, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and that should significantly reduce the amount of time it's going to take to get some of these things improved. This city has a huge population, but not a lot of very good tiles, and it's going to be like that until I have conservation. The nice thing too about this cultural path is I'm about to pick up colonialism, which will give me +1 production from my fishing boats, which will help out all these cities like Beijing, Chen, and stuff like that are working a fair number of fishing boat tiles. All right, loyalty is only going to get worse and worse over here unless I get the city settled immediately. There is the city of Wuhan, and the loyalty is fairly comfortable in here. Thinking about planning this city, what I could do is just like run a great wall along this island from here to here, and then run another great wall down along the bottom half of the island if I wanted to, and kind of loop around whatever city I settle down here. That kind of has an interesting appeal to me. Just have a city, like an area of the map dedicated to generating tourism from doing that sort of a thing. We are pretty close to picking up flight, so that could be an option. Or I could just have this be a productive area of the map. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm thinking about it. I think the number one big thing I want this city to do, though, is to grow really, really rapidly. So I will plop down a harbor in here, but I'll immediately chop out the granary by harvesting this quarry tile. That'll give us an extra little bit of food to keep growing. All right, finally clearing out the final bad guy over here. I need to unlink with this settler so I can start cleaning up this barb camp as well. And find a nice spot for my settler to actually jump down on this island. There's a ton of tribal villages here that I'll be able to grab as well. I think I'm seeing at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tribal villages, and there might even be another one hidden in the center here. Picking up our very first Great Admiral, if I recall correctly. This will be Ferdinand Magellan, who will give me a free copy of a luxury. Are there any luxuries that I don't have right now that are sea-based? Take a moment here to look at our resources tab. It looks like I have more or less everything, so I'm just going to quickly use him on this amber to get a nice chunk of gold. Harbor completed in Guangzhou. We're going to work on the lighthouse. It is almost time to start pumping out great riders. The next time the World Congress triggers, that's exactly what we're going to be focusing on. Renewing my open borders with the Maori. And I'm also going to send them... Did I already send them a gift? I think I did. I need them to flip into friendliness. I think they're a little bit upset because I'm allied with 2 of their enemies. Might seem paradoxical to harvest the sheep when I could build a pasture for +1 food, +1 production, but if I harvest this, that'll force the city to grow to 2 population this turn and then immediately become 3 population next turn. And that'll have loyalty implications in making it easier to capture and control these cities over here. Okay, I'm going to vote for myself for the new districts built by me act as culture bombs, and I'm also going to go ahead and vote for myself generating more grievances so that people are less incentivized to go to war with me, hopefully. And that works out in my favor. Okay, looks like Coupe won the first vote, or the second vote, and I won the first vote. So my districts now act as culture bombs. We also have access to mercantilism now, which is going to allow us to build lumber mills. And there is one lumber mill I want to put down, at least on a temporary basis, over here in Taiwan, to get the extra 2 production here, so I can finish this a little bit quicker. I need to find somewhere that I can grab a spy too, and I'm having a hard time finding a city with the production to justify building a spy, because it would take a very, very long time. 12 turns. When you consider I could get a workshop. I think I might purchase the workshop in Chengdu. 3 production for 780 gold is a lot, considering this city. And I would also be able to work this tile because the city is about to hit its housing cap, so I think it would be worth it to work the workshop tile now that we're hitting a housing cap and need just as much production as possible. Unfortunately, I did unlock machinery very late into the game, so the Kilba Kisaniwa is already gone as far as I can tell. That's one of the best wonders in the game. I was kind of hoping to get it, but just the way the game worked out, I didn't have time to really emphasize going for it. I would really like civil engineering if I could get it. The extra builder production would be great. More importantly, being able to build farms and stuff like that, and the wonder production card would be fantastic. I think I'm going to stop off for civil engineering here, and then start making my way up towards natural history into conservation. And by purchasing that workshop in here, I can get my spy 2 turns quicker, which makes me feel much more confident about actually investing into it. Do I want to plug in triangular trade here? Or do I want to plug in Vissel Banking? I feel like Vissel Banking is really, really powerful now that I have alliances up and running. I think I'm more or less happy with this government setup. I think Diplomatic League could come out and I should plug in Machiavellianism with Vissel Banking, and that feels really nice to me. Right now my big struggle is production. I need production. And that'll even bring my spy down to 7 turns. I'm very happy with that. And now I can use my trade routes as international trading ways to grow and build my cities. And speaking of which, Wuhan actually needs to grow pretty quickly here to be really useful. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase the trader and maybe trade with Canada or someone. In Longxi, I'm actually chopping out the harbour infrastructure. I chopped 2 rainforests here to try and get this harbour faster, and I think that's a reasonable thing to do. It'll mean that this city gets up and running much faster than otherwise. I can't afford to have this city sitting around building things for a really long time. I more or less know what this island has to offer me, so I'm going to start planning my settlements. I'm definitely going to put my first city right here on this tribal village. Then I think there's another city right here on that flooding tile, because that'll reclaim a flooding tile and also give me another really good harbour on one of these 2 tiles. It is off fresh water, but that's not a very big deal to me. I'm kind of tempted to settle a city on the bananas just to build 2 aqueducts for the meme. Sorry, not aqueducts, two canals. And you know what? We're gonna do the canal thing. Let's do it. That sounds like fun. No, the canal thing is just dumb, really, if I think about it. But I have made a decision more or less how I plan to settle this island. I'm going for really high adjacency harbors because I could use gold to get them up and running really quickly and get tons of production in these cities. I have a city planned here with a harbor there, a city planned here with a harbor there, a city planned here with a harbor there, and a city planned here with a harbor there. And then there might be room for 1 or 2 more cities in here, but I know there's at least 4 really high value harbor cities going in here. And really I'm just doing a land grab because the more land I have, the more tourism I can generate. Let's harvest out this shipyard in here. I know I'm spending gold that is supposed to be reserved for building shipyards, but in a way, this is kind of doing the same thing and then ending up with extra tiles at the end. So now that we have the harbour in here, the city actually has enough production to start doing things on its own, amazingly. And we can grab Magnus and probably reassign him to Beijing, unless I wanted to also chop this forest here to get out another builder. Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. Chop out a builder, send it over, then move Magnus over to Beijing. Yeah, I like that plan. We have the ability to grab Isaac Newton. Now, Isaac Newton is much better when you're going for a mass campus strategy, but we generate so many great people points from a single campus, by the way. We're getting 3 points from the campus itself, thanks to the Oracle adding +2 great people points to the campus. We're getting 1 more point from the library and 1 more point from the university. So we're getting 5 points from this campus. We're getting another point from the Great Library, and then Pengala is doubling all of that. We're getting 12 great people points from a single city when you would normally need to have 6 campuses with a library to get that level of great people point generation. I think I have a lot more respect for the Oracle after playing this game, and I think I'm going to try to fit it into a lot more of my games. But I think I will recruit Isaac Newton. He's not a terrible great person. The instantly building the university and library thing is kind of wasted on me, unless I wanted to just switch over to like a campus in this city, but it doesn't really have a big enough population. So I might just accept. The question is, do I value +2 science per turn, or do I value a production injection into a campus on the order of about 300 production? Because that's what Isaac Newton, he's either worth 2 science per turn right now, or he's worth like 340 production later and 4 science per turn. And I think I'd like that investment to come a little bit later. I have other ways I can get science. Oh, wow, there's actually a settler over here. I might purchase myself a unit to grab that settler. There's also coursers and stuff, so that's going to be a bit of a problem, but nothing I shouldn't be able to handle. No, Rome, you're literally settling in the worst spot. If you settle there, you prevent all future settling. Don't settle there, Rome. Don't do it. No, don't settle there. That's the worst spot to settle. Don't do it. Please, I'm begging you, Rome. I mean, I will trade with Rome, though, because it's worth 2 food, 3 production, 14 gold, and 1 science from the city of Wuhan, which will help it grow and work tiles and stuff like that. Please don't do this to me. Oh my god. Oh yeah, let's also chop out the harbor here. Here we go, 7 turns left on it. Just don't settle there. Oh my god. That is so triggering. I could have fit 2 extra cities in here. Oh well. At least I kind of have this little city over here of Wuhan. Mostly the city kind of is just being a trade post for me. So that I can actually reach like the Maori and Rome with trade routes. Oh dear, a caravel spawned here. I think I can survive here. No problem. Let's hope we to clear that out first. We'll settle another city, Jingzhou. And we'll start improving some of these fishing tiles. First things first is get the harbour, because it's a +5 harbour, which means it's potentially a +10 production at least harbour. But I do want to get stuff like the granary and watermill to get the productivity of this city up and running. Oh my sweet Jesus. Every time I look at this island, there's more barbarians, and it gets worse. Oh my god, what is happening over here? There's so many barbs here. Right now, we are trading with Canada. We're also trading with Norway and Rome. So I need to get a trade route with America if I can. I don't have any cities in range to do that. And I also need to get a trade route with the Maori if I can. And I might swing up a trader up to Kapiti or to Wuhan to see if I can get a trade route with Kapiti or Tehungi Anuakupe. I chopped out the builder in Longxi, and now I need to make a decision about what we're going to be doing going forward. I think we're going to be using a fair amount of seaside resorts in here. I can fit 1 here. I can fit 2 over here. So let's have a look at the appeal. Do I need a forest on this tile to get the appeal up? I probably do. And that means I'll want a forest here as well to get the appeal up even higher. So that means this city doesn't really have a whole lot of tiles left to actually build districts on. Instead, I'm just going to get the city to build a little bit of infrastructure. Ah, man, I really would like a theater square, but I would have to crush this really nice hill for it. Or buy a tile. I guess technically I could just swap out this tile. It doesn't have to be a very good theater square. It just has to exist. Now we need to start talking about priorities. So for example, Chen definitely needs a watermill and a granary and a monument. All those cheap things. But as some of these productions start finishing, we're going to start working on purchasing up things like the amphitheater in my capital, working theater square projects to finish off these great writers nice and fast. I think I am generating the most great people points of any civ, bar America. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable that I'll be able to get the majority of the touristy great people for the rest of the game. Which means it's about time to pick up Curator on Pingala. Taking a look at the culture screen, we have 7 out of 82 tourists already, which is pretty damn good progress considering how badly we got set back in different ways during this game. This is also really important to check in your games. Make sure your capital or other really, really strong cities aren't taking tiles that they can't actually work. If I look over here to my capital, it's reached all the way out to here. And the capital can only really work these 3 of these tiles. So I need to go into like Chen, for example, and swap this tile. Head over to Beijing and take these 2 tiles because they're just being occupied by my capital, but not actually being used. And I see this happen a lot in my game. So it's important to just double check, make sure tiles aren't being wasted by your cities. There's printing. We'll be able to build the Forbidden City after the Oxford University. And we also got colonialism, which is going to give us extra production from our fishing boats, which is fantastic, especially for these new cities over here that are just freshly settled. Oh, we also acquired our very, very first spy. And what you want to do with your first spy is just have a look around. Check everyone's capital that may or may not have a commercial hub, and just look for somewhere where you can get a decent amount of gold stolen. For example, Nidaros, I can get 384 gold right now, and I think that's my best choice. So we're going to start stealing gold from Norway. I'd like to put another envoy into Babylon here, just to get that extra 2 science per turn from universities. Otherwise, I'm not too worried about doing this. I guess I could retake Suzerainty of Levanta to be able to build the colossal heads. And that seems pretty reasonable to me, because I'm thinking about filling this island over here with colossal heads. Also, if you're in a pinch and you don't have a military unit to clear a barb camp, just use a builder. And you can also collect tribal villages with them. Accumulated enough gold as well to get another shipyard in Shanghai. That's 6 gold or 6 production immediately, plus any more that might appear on tiles, just for an exchange of about 1,000 gold. So that seems like a really, really good return on investment to me. Xingzhou is finally population 2, which means I can come in here and faith purchase my first settler for the new world and head on over to getting this next city down. With the completion of military engineering, we have more or less locked ourselves out of researching really bad things when we finish the Oxford University in 8 turns. I have 8 turns of science left. I'm going to go ahead and research gunpowder, because if I finish gunpowder, that'll be the last 600 science tech, and I might be able to boost and grab a couple of other tech. The alternative could be, if I research square rigging, I could increase the chance that I get industrialization for free or military science. So I think I'm actually going to do square rigging here. This does increase the chance that I get a low value tech like gunpowder for free, but it's still 600 science per turn. But it increases the chance to get a high value tech like industrialization for free. I have shipyards available in Guangzhou and in Changsha. However, the Changsha shipyard is worth 6 production per turn. And so for that reason, its return on investment is much, much higher. So I'll be delaying the Guangzhou shipyard a bit longer. Doesn't mean I can't go ahead and get to work on amphitheaters, because I'm going to start generating a ton of theater square festivals to fill these up really quickly. America, I believe, is the only person I'm still not trading with. So even though it's a fairly kind of bad trade route, I'm going to take it. Oh my god, there's more settlers just wandering around the waste. I need to purchase a unit over here. I need like a scout or two to get these settlers under my belt. Magnus is finally established in Beijing, so I can start doing a bit of chopping in here. Grabbing some stuff, finishing off this city at long last with mass shopping to get the shipyard and stuff out. It's going to save me a huge chunk of gold by doing this. Looks like the Maori are actually trying to clear out this island, so I think now is the time to get a military unit to see if I can snipe these settlers that are running around in the wild. I'll grab myself a Corsair, send him over here and see if I can grab it. And I also want him to run up here. That's why I'm sending this caravel over to see if I can get eyes on that settler. Time to chop out the shipyard. Should be able to chop it one more time next turn and have it fully finished, giving this city a wonderful +8 production shipyard, as well as extra production on the coastal tiles. Like, shipyard economies are just so good. Very first great artist has arrived. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Hieronymus Bosch, and I think I'm going to create his great work and then pretty much immediately sell it. Oh, I accidentally used my great scientist. Oops. God damn it. That was a misclick. How I wish there was just an undo button. Just let me undo the last 2 or 3 actions. That's all I want in a Civ game. But anyway, there's the Garden of Earthly Desires. I had planned to sell that to Canada. Spies finally established in Nidaros. We will continue to gain sources and then start stealing gold. Buy the final tile to chop out this rainforest and immediately get ourselves a shipyard in here. And now the city has 21 production, which means it can actually be useful. It can do things relatively quickly. I do want a water park in here. The city is 8 out of 9 population, which means I can build 2 more districts because I've only built 1. The 2 districts I definitely want are water parks and theater squares. I think my big priority right now is getting as many great works of writing as possible. So I'm going to prioritize the theater square first. And I want to position it somewhere that doesn't block any other good things that I want to do. And actually, this tile right here on the hill, as paradoxically as it seems to kill a hill, is actually a really good spot for the theater square, because it leaves me open to do some really interesting things with forests and seaside resorts later. I also placed the water park just to have it ready to build, but the theater square is the priority. Oh no, this is annoying. I've got 2 antiquity sites up here. I'm gonna have to get my hands on a theater square up here. Well, let me think about that one for a minute. I'd planned to fill this in with a ton of great walls. I'll need to get an archaeologist over here, which means I'll need an archaeological museum ASAP. Second city has been settled on this island, and I'm going to go ahead and purchase the 3rd. I have plenty of faith to keep filling out this island. And I also managed to pick up Francis Drake, who's going to allow me to get a free privateer. And I might be able to snatch one of these settlers with that free privateer. Oh, and a free recon unit. That's perfect. I got a free recon unit from running this Corsair over a tribal village that I forgot was there, and I might send him up here to see if I can find this settler. And another free recon unit. Oh my god, this is just my day. This island is just the island of riches for me. It has just given so much back to me in so little time. Let's renew our friendship with Rome. go ahead and get the economic alliance so that we have mutual open borders and we have a permanent friendship with him. I'm wondering who would pay the most for my great work here. 7 gold per turn from Rome. He doesn't seem too into it. America would pay quite a bit, but they don't have anything. What about you, Canada? 7 gold from Canada as well. Looks like nobody is super interested in my great work. 7 gold per turn doesn't feel like it's worth it. Here comes my second spy, and this spy wants to also look for a city to steal gold from, and it looks like Washington is the perfect spot to start stealing gold from. I need to start keeping an eye out for any great merchants. I haven't built any commercial hubs this game, which is arguably a mistake because I would probably want to get one in my capital as its next district. Like just plant it right there, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Even if it does open me up to getting spy stolen, it'll allow me to start generating huge amounts of great merchant points. I have a ton of open great writing slots, which is why I'm working Theatre Square festivals, because I need these great writers as soon as possible. Oh my god, the settler jumped into the water. Give me. Oh my god, I just stole a settler from the barbarians. Hell yes. Hell to the yes. There's the other settler. I've got a courser coming in. I might be able to snatch him. That's 2 free settlers that I could potentially get here, and I have definitely got at least 1. There might even be room to settle a city up here. Oh my god, I get so much land this game. A little bit worried about this Norwegian settler making his way over here, so I'm going to go ahead and buy my next settler right now to see if I can't plant him down. No, where did this Maori settler come from? No, this is my little island. Go away. They're coming here to steal my island. No, this is mine. Go away. It belongs to me. Get out of here. I already paid for these settlers. Leave. Why is everyone coming here now? This is my spot. Get out of here. I can't even declare war on them because I'm friends with everyone. God damn it. So what we're going to be preparing for, though, is once Oxford University is finished and we have conservation, we're going to be starting to sort of plan out our forest layout. There's definitely going to be a forest here, for example. This forest is going to be removed. I'm going to be trying to go for seaside resorts everywhere that I can. Like I can get 3 seaside resorts here. I can get 1 here. I can plant a forest 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 here. I want to get as many forests down as possible, especially up and around here with lumber mills on them, so that I can plant down seaside resorts. I might even consider buying that tile. Depends. What's its appeal? Its appeal isn't very good, so I would need an Eiffel Tower to do anything with that. Oxford University. 20% science in the city and 2 randomly chosen free technologies, as well as 2 wonderful great work of writing slots. We get industrialization for free. Beautiful. We also get military science for free. Excellent. That is actually the literal best outcome that we could have hoped for, because those were the 2 most expensive technologies that we had available. Now let's talk about our tech situation. Next up, we're going to be going for steam power into flight. I could go straight flight here. Yes, I think I'm going to go straight flight here to get tourism from my Great Walls. And then I'm going to go pick up steam power, head up towards electricity. Sorry, not electricity. We're going to go... See, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick up flight. That's going to give me tourism from all my improvements that give me culture, like, for example, the Great Wall. Then we're going to pick up steam power. Then we're going to pick up radio so we can build seaside resorts and get the broadcast center. Then we're going to head for electricity and then head for computers. And that sort of tech path means that we'll be able to build we'll be able to get extra tourism. We'll sort of bridge our way to seaside resorts. Then we'll pick up seaports, and then we'll pick up computers to allow us to prevent floods from happening, as well as getting a 25% boost to tourism across our empire. That kind of cohesive direction that we're taking our science now. The big thing is I just need more great writer points. I'm working projects, I'm building amphitheaters everywhere, but it just quite isn't enough. The question is, in my capital, damn. So it looks like somebody unfortunately built the Forbidden Palace. You're never going to get all of the wonders that you want in a game. It's just never going to happen. So this could be exchanged for an Eiffel Tower instead. But what I really need to get to work on is ancient walls. This is the phase of the game. Now that I've unlocked conservation, now I need to start working on ancient walls. I need to get amphitheaters. I need to do all of that stuff. I need to get my zoos up. This is really an important phase of the game, because this is where this tourism number is going to go from being like 61 to like 300 over the course of the next 30 to 40 turns, or basically the industrial era is where tourism is really going to ramp up for us. We currently have 12 out of 98 tourists, which isn't bad. but I want to do a lot better. I also need to start targeting America for trades to hurt his economy, because he's currently the best cultural civ in the game, which means I need to hurt him the most to reduce the total number of tourists he produces. America is always the biggest pain in the ass in my culture games, I feel like. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm going for a culture victory and America is in my games, stuff just goes wrong on me. Anyway, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. We've made huge progress here. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.